What's going on? What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Salute to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about Lizzo. It's been a while since I spoke about Lizzo. You know, Lizzo is somebody who I think realizes that she really did not have authentic fans, and I think she's even speaking out. That's why we're doing this video. This is no clickbait. I think she believes her career as where it was a couple years ago is over. Now, there are some factors here, but I think that one of the main factors is the fact that Lizzo has gone out of her way over the last 2 years to get herself in better shape. She's been working out constantly, and she's now, I believe she's still in this relationship, right, with this guy, and her fans don't like it because, and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but Lizzo was a character to her fans. Her fans were mainly white liberal women, gay men. She had some black women, but it wasn't the fan base she thought it was, because I think she's realizing after this new album has flopped that those fans that she thought she had have just moved on. They've moved on to other artists, right? Or artists that they like more. And Lizzo at the time was a novelty. She was a mammy to them. She was the big black female who they can look at and point at and look at her life and see that she's big and she can't get into a relationship. Y'all remember Lizzo, right? Y'all remember how Lizzo would talk about her struggles when it comes to dating and all that, right? So they can live their insecurities through her. They could always point to her and say, listen, I have these issues, but I'm not Lizzo. But I like listen to her music. There are people who like listening to her because, again, she's a character. Look at the statue in New York of the black female, right? A complete character, right? They could have put any black woman there as a statue, but they chose a stereotype black female because that's how they see you. That's how they want to see you, as a caricature, as a mammy, as somebody to point to and say, at least I'm not her. And that's how they look. That's how they looked at Lizzo. And I think Lizzo was finding that out. And also the lawsuits that she had with people who, who worked with her, who accused her of some things, that didn't help. So you had a bunch of things coming together to really derail her career. I think the fact that, she hadn't really dropped any music, I think, in a while. I just think that she wasn't consistent with that because, again, she was a character. She was somebody who was pushed by the liberal media, the white liberal media, to be the face of black women, right? And I could see where if there were black women who were fans of hers, they stopped listening to her and promoting her music too because they saw it for what it was. Now, let's get into this. Lizzo has claimed industry changes are part of the reason she has a smaller fan base. On Sunday, a follower posted a message via X in which they questioned why the Juice hitmaker seemingly doesn't have as big a platform as she did in the past. Lizzo not having a fan base is so weird to me when this woman was generally selling out arenas not even 2 years ago. Like, where did those people go? They questioned the quote. And a short time later, Lizzo surprised fans by publicly responding. She says, I actually can answer this. The industry changed so much in the last 3 years. Streaming replaced radio, and I was a radio darling, she replied. That's how my fans discovered my music. Lizzo also went on to reference a lawsuit filed against her in August of 2023, in which 3 former backup dancers accused her of harassment, assault, weight shaming, and false imprisonment, among other claims. Some of the claims, including the one that Lizzo allegedly fat shamed one of the dancers, were dismissed by a Los Angeles judge in February of 2024, though some of the allegations were upheld. So the fat shaming one was dismissed, but there were other allegations. So Lizzo still has these allegations hovering over her head, even to this day. So not everything was dismissed. there are still things that were upheld. That's not good. All right. It says, not to mention the very obvious and public attack on my career changed things. But I'm out here doing my absolute best, and you can't knock a B for that, the 38-year-old added. The fact that she's about 40 is crazy. Got a very late start, right? Lizzo, whose real name is Melissa Jefferson, dropped her 5th studio album, earlier this month. In a statement at the time of the release, the "Cuz I Love You" singer explained how she wanted to reclaim the meaning of the word "beh." Reclaiming the word "beh" is power. It's taking a label once used to diminish women and turning it into a declaration of confidence and unapologetic self-love, she shared. So many incredible women in music have used the word for positivity, like Meredith Brooks and Missy Elliott. It was only fitting to name my album that because it has become my favorite word when using it on my own terms, and because I am 100% that. Yeah. Lizzo's last concert tour was the Special Tour 2022-2023, and the allegations happened right after that, which again, according to this report, some of the allegations were upheld. So, so she probably was guilty of some of that, at least because the allegations holding up shows that she's guilty of some of that, and she's still fighting through that, but she's trying to power through it. Listen, I just think that there's a lot going on with Lizzo. I just think Lizzo was a useful tool that they don't need anymore, which is why the media doesn't really protect her the same way they did before. You used to say something about Lizzo, you would get attacked. But now people just go at her like Nicki. Nicki went at her and clowned her and said she was going to flop. Nicki said that in May, only for that to basically come to fruition because the album is not doing so well, and she's saying that she was a radio artist. But listen, you can start off on radio, but if you have a strong enough base, they will follow you from radio to streaming now. I just think that might be an excuse that she's using because she thought she had real fans, but she doesn't. She was just used and propped up by the liberal media as a fat mammy. And again, that's not my words, other people's words. And used as a caricature of what black women are. And I think that people are fighting against that stereotype. I think black women are fighting against that stereotype. And I think Lizzo is fighting against it by trying to lose weight and get into better shape. There's nothing wrong with that. They wanted her to be some overweight black female incel. You know what I'm saying? That struggled and relate to get a relationship that was, big and, nobody wanted her. They wanted her to be that. And maybe they would still support her. This is why she took such extreme liberal stances, because she was their puppet, so to speak. But when you see Lizzo out here trying to be like other women, have the relationships, get in better shape, it just shows you that she's fighting against that. She thinks something is wrong with that. She doesn't want to be the overweight mammy anymore, right? She wants, and I think that this album is like a double entendre. It's like she says she's trying to take the power back, so to speak, from the word "beh." She's also trying to take the power back from who she is as a woman and not just being a character and being the overweight mammy that people can make fun of and point to, right? And use as a shield. So let me know something in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and I'll see y'all next one.